Chris, thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
So last year you won a gold medal, you won a silver medal, and you were at two of the highest achieving academic institutions in the country. That sounds like madness to me, just with your time management and how much work has to go into that. What routines do you have to keep you on track?
Yeah, so at the start of every semester, we were given this by our academic advisor. She provided us with a semester at a glance, and it was just like this Excel worksheet, and we could kind of fill it in with our syllabus and like our class schedules to help line that up. So that was one routine that many of us on our team at Notre Dame had. And honestly, one thing for me is just waking up and fixing my hair and getting dressed. Like as simple as it sounds, I feel like it's a big thing to start the day. When I do those things, I feel way more productive than when I don't.
It's fascinating because you mentioned like first thing you do is like wake up and like fix your hair and you already feel like you have a quick win. Almost everyone we talked to has talked about the importance of like this like quick win right away where you just need to get the ball rolling, whether it's like making your bed or getting something healthy. Is there any other quick wins that you do?
Yeah, I mean, you just hit on like making your bed. It took me a little bit growing up to like actually start doing it. So doing that and like just having that like 5 second window of just saying yes to like, I'm going to do this one thing. To make a decision, like those first 5 seconds are when you're really going to like make that decision to do it. And I've seen it through like folding my laundry or just cleaning the dishes, stuff like that, where I'm like, I could put this off till later, but if I just make that decision right away, it'll get done and that'll be off my plate going forward.
It's funny to hear you talk because, you look at like Olympian, you look at, high level student athletes, whether it's Notre Dame or Texas. And I don't think anybody would view you as someone who would not be motivated enough to put their laundry away. But it seems like it seems like it's the same for all of us, right?
Yeah, I mean, coming home after a long day, it's like I'll take it out of the dryer and I could set it down right now and just lay in bed and throw on some TV. But no, like it's just way better moving forward rather than having that like instant gratification.
And so what other academic routines did you have? Because I'm assuming you were traveling a lot. So how did you keep up with all the classwork?
It was definitely tough. I've been in that procrastination role and it's not fun. There was this one day, it's like sophomore year of college, where I started cramming like my studying for one of the final exams. And it turns out like I actually like really enjoyed studying for that exam just because like I did certain things that like I typically like don't do, such as like just making note cards or Quizlet's pretty big thing. Just doing like stuff like that and really putting time and effort into my studying, like that kind of helped me moving forward to where I'm like, I should do this periodically rather than cramming it because it is something I can enjoy when I'm really putting the time and effort into it. And like there's purpose behind what I'm doing. So once I kind of got out of that cycle of procrastination, I think, that really helped me moving forward.
Yeah, you just said the word that like everybody's struggling with right now. It's everywhere is this procrastination thing. Besides getting out a couple days in advance, do you do anything else for that? Like, do you have study groups that you go to, or do you study with teammates, or what does that look like? How do you stay out of that cramming mode?
Yeah, I've lived with roommates, I mean, my entire college career, and, having them to hold me accountable and vice versa, it's definitely great to have those people to kind of make sure you're staying on top of things. I've gone to a couple office hours just trying to get a better grasp of the material. But, people are really trying to help you at whatever you're trying to do. It's always a good thing to reach out for help if you need it.
That's such a great reminder because I think we get stuck, right? And we're like, I got it. And people want to help. And I think we forget that a lot. I'm always arguing to young student athletes that if you cram and you have this weight holding you down, that you're not going to perform as well. You're not going to swim as well. Do you feel like that's true? When you do a good job studying, do you feel like you're faster or performing better?
Yeah, I definitely say, in sports, that mental game really plays a role. Like I'm sure there were times when I was sitting on deck where I was like, oh, like I have an assignment I got to do, by tonight or tomorrow. That can definitely add up and that can, snowball into a bigger stressor than what you'd hope for.
You spoke earlier about something that was very important, this guilt-free freedom concept, where if you knock everything out, there's a very different feeling between playing video games, hanging out with your friend when there's like something due and it's like nagging in the back of your head versus like when you actually have it done and you have this guilt-free freedom. Is there anything else you want to say about that? Because I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, so achieving that guilt-free freedom, it's just a really nice feeling to not have to worry about anything for that time being. That is something that can really help me get through like the continuous cycle of just like practice, sleep, eat, repeat. Once I finally spend some time to myself or having some like free time to hang out with people and just do something fun, it's always a great way to break that cycle and, not feel burnt out in any sort of way.
What does a typical in-season day look like for you with class and swimming?
Yeah, I'll run you through my day to day. So we had practice it was like 10 to 12. It was a little shorter because, we're starting to rest. And then we had lift. I ate lunch, and then I went to my 2 o'clock class. I only have one class today, so on Tuesday, Thursday, so that, it's pretty good. But yeah, once my class finished up, I just went straight to my car, came home. I took like a 45-minute nap just because I felt like I needed it. Taking naps has been a huge part of my routine. Just trying to get as much rest as I can, especially during like when we're resting in season. It's just really important to me to just maximize my sleep. And now I'm talking to you, so it's been a pretty good day.
That was one of the things that I was going to ask you about is you look at everything you're doing. We know unless you give the brain time to rejuvenate, just like the body, you can't learn new information. Is there any other recovery practices you have besides naps to keep your mind as fresh like your body?
Yeah, I had a good crew playing board games together at Notre Dame. That'll just kind of give us like a mental reset from class and practice and, any sort of screen time where I feel like I'm continuing to like fry my mind with like information. Just kind of sitting down and being able to play a board game or read a book. I love just sitting outside in the sun and just like talking, playing some music, and just having those friends around me.
What you said is so important because we're always after people, letting them know that your screen eats up just as much mental energy. When you're scrolling through your phone, it feels like downtime, but you're eating up just as much mental energy. So the fact that you're playing a board game or just sitting outside, that is so rejuvenating. What do you do for anxiety? You're on not even national TV, you're on worldwide TV for the Olympics. And again, with a high academic load, you have friends and I'm sure, there's all these responsibilities with winning a gold medal. How do you keep yourself from falling into this anxiety trap?
Yeah, like when I'm about to perform, I think this goes back into like the routines and stuff. I have my pre-meet routine. I have certain songs that I listen to for a race. Stretching before like my pre-meet warm up. I'll sit behind so the block or like the lane I'm swimming in that day or that night, I'll go and I'll just like sit behind the lane and just kind of like visualize my race before I warm up. And then I try to warm up in that same lane, just kind of like mentally prepare myself, I guess, for being in that position. And then, I'm in the ready room, just like certain breathing exercises or just like swinging my arms around.
Yeah, again, you hit on all the big things in the research. We have visualization, we have the breathing to calm us down or to ramp us up, and then we just have the same routine. So no matter where you are, you feel confident and in control. I guess my last question for you is there's a misconception that these high level student athletes do everything on their own. What would you say to that?
Couldn't be any more wrong. And, my mind immediately goes to my family. I mean, my brother was the one who got me into the sport. My mom and dad, they've taken such great care of me, taken me to and from practices, even though, maybe I didn't want to go. I wasn't feeling motivated, but they held me accountable and responsible for what I wanted to achieve in the sport and in life. And then, my friends, like without those guys, none of this would be possible. They've got me through some of the hardest practices ever, or just like some of my hardest days when I'm just able to go back after a really hard day and just talk to them and just kind of debrief. And, they're able to share similar experiences, which really helps calm me down as well. And I've surrounded myself with really good people. I feel like a lot of people can fall into like the trap of surrounding themselves with the wrong people who don't want to have the goals that they have. And that could be a tough thing to let go as well. But I think I've done a really, really solid job with that. Hopefully I can continue making those right decisions. And, just being coachable and being open to new things like from my teachers and professors. I think that really goes a long way. And having that ability to listen to people and take constructive criticism the right way.
And do you have, whether it's USA, Notre Dame, Texas, do people have academic coaches and mental health support, and do they surround themselves with resources like that?
Yeah, they're available. And one thing I think I really want to look into is just like talking to a sports psychologist. I think that's something I think would benefit me, especially with everything, that's happened in my life the last 365 days. I think it would be really awesome to just kind of have somebody to talk all my feelings with and just accepting vulnerability.
That's a great way to end it. Chris, thank you so much for taking the time, and congrats on the past 365 days. I mean, what a great run.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, this was awesome.